Hey, what is more fun to talk about than accountability? This is Greg McKenzie. I'm the founder at ZenPilot. And this is yet another video in the ZenPilot Methodology series. And today we're talking about the fifth point in our series of really 5 foundational pillars. So this is kind of like bringing it all together for the foundation pieces. This is the stuff everybody has to work within. And consistent accountability is not optional, is that 5th pillar. So we've talked about a single source of truth. The tagline for that, if it's not in ClickUp, it didn't happen. We've talked about due dates equaling due dates. So we're using a due date driven system to prioritize work. It's one of the easiest ways to manage work inside of a project management tool. We talked about the importance of making the process live where the work gets done, why healthy shared habits are so important, and what those habits ought to be. And so today, I'm not saying anything new. Hey, accountability should be there. Duh, everybody knows that, right? But I want to talk about specifically what are the 4 practices of a ClickUp champion look like. And we'll dig in. We'll actually take a look inside ClickUp at, hey, what does it actually look like in practice? So if you have not seen the rest of the videos in the ZenPilot Methodology series, make sure you are subscribed to the ZenPilot YouTube channel. And if you have any questions, leave a comment, and I would love to engage and work this stuff out together with you. A ton of teams have benefited from implementing these principles and sticking to them. This is one of the hardest ones to do well, but it's not complex. Like, it's pretty straightforward what needs to get done. I actually have another doc here that we'll look at, and we'll talk about like the ClickUp Champion being the tip of the spear for accountability, not the only piece of accountability, and then serving in both a reactive role and a proactive role, and why both of those are so important. So let's dig into each of those pieces right now. I don't think it matters what tool you're trying to adopt or what new habit you're trying to build. Without some form of accountability, they're just not going to stick. This is just the way that life works, and especially if we magnify this out over larger teams. So enterprise teams that we're working with, like, this is the hardest part of the whole thing, is the change management piece and getting new habits to stick and jump in for folks. And I wrote this principle as consistent accountability is not optional, and I had for a while daily accountability is not optional, because I think the best way to do this, and I don't just think, like, this is based off of working with hundreds of teams personally and seeing what sticks and what doesn't stick. Daily is absolutely the way you have to start off. Now, some more mature teams and teams who've been running the system for a while, there's not actually a daily spot check that happens anymore, and it's happening either a couple times a week or once a week. It's not always a single person, and sometimes that's, the department lead or the team lead for each of the individual teams takes it on. I love seeing that. Those are signs of a more mature team. So if you're going from 0 to 60, don't jump right to those principles. Instead, read this as, hey, daily accountability is what needs to happen. So let's talk about the reactive and proactive part. There's a reactive part of, hey, someone's got a question about something. We need a go-to person somewhere who's accountable to give answers, to become knowledgeable, become educated. Our clients, and if you're interested in working with ZenPilot, go to zenpilot.com/call and become a client. You have a huge leg up. You get extra accountability from ZenPilot, but you also have the place to go to get the answers that your ClickUp champion needs. But regardless, you need a champion to roll this tool or any other tool out well. The go-to person who's like, hey, I don't know, this new feature rolled out. Should we use it? Should we not use it? I don't know what to do here. Hey, I've been using this feature this way. I think it might make sense for other people. Like, what should we do? You need somebody who can be kind of the centralized hub of, yeah, here, like, I'll go hunt down the answers where we don't have the answers. Now, that does not mean this is not synonymous with the person who's got all the ideas. In fact, most of the time, this is not the most visionary person in the organization. That would be a disaster. The personality types of a visionary and a really strong ClickUp champion are not the same at all. Those are 2 separate skill sets. But we need one person who's responsible for going in and then integrating those ideas together and saying, that's a great idea over here, but if we apply it, here's the impact on this team over here. And so for that reason, we shouldn't, or here's the impact on the other teams. And it's worth it to get there. We've made a decision that it's worth it, and I'm going to be the person who rolls it out and communicates it well. So there's a reactive person or role here that's super important to fill in any organization. The flip side is the proactive side, and this is where we talk about these 4 crucial habits. So we talk about a daily spot check, a weekly roundup, a monthly review, a quarterly analysis. Daily and weekly, these 2 are in the bucket of we are hyper-focused on activity. Are we getting the key inputs into the system? So we've talked about 2 of the core problems here being inconsistent inputs. So if you're having trouble right now in your tool, getting the visibility that you need across the organization and clarity from top to bottom, you are having one of two, and most likely both problems. You're having inconsistent inputs. Some people are great about entering their time. Some people are great about getting tasks into the system. And so this is where, if we just scroll up this page a little bit, these first principles, like, hey, if it's not in ClickUp, it didn't happen. That's an input focused item. Here we're starting to bleed into the management side in the second two, but the first two are really focused on, are we getting the right inputs in? So inconsistent inputs, problem number one. Problem number two, messy management. Like, hey, we don't actually have a system to go in and look at all this data that we're asking people to generate and track and stay on top of. We don't have any system for how we're going in, or we have a system and we're just inconsistent in actually doing it. Looking at that data and saying, how does that shape what decisions we're going to make moving forward from here? How does it shape who we hire for, how we charge, how we scope, how we bill, how we estimate, who's responsible for what? Like, what does our accountability chart or our organizational chart actually wind up looking like? All these things have to be figured out somewhere. And so part of this accountability is solving for both of those problems. We're trying to solve the inconsistent input problem, and we're solving the messy management piece. So these first two, daily spot check and weekly roundup, let's look at ClickUp here real quickly for an example. A really simple task, and if you're working on a small team, and when I say small team, assume like less than 25, 30 people here, you can probably have a single person in the organization do this, and you'll probably benefit from having that. There's plenty of edge cases where, hey, no, this makes sense. And in a perfect world, I think this would be each individual team leader. But in most organizations who are just stepping into this for the first time, it's easier to have a single person take it and run it. And they are going through our workspace QA dashboard, which we've talked about briefly in other videos, but we're really looking for, hey, what doesn't fit the framework right now? Where do we not have tasks done on time? Where did tasks slip through the system and become unassigned? Where do we not get due dates? And if we're doing capacity management in the system, where do we not get time estimates? Do we have the right custom fields? And are people actually tracking their time, assuming we're doing time tracking? Now, the next principle we're going to talk about in this series is time tracking. So again, if you've not yet subscribed to the channel, make sure you subscribe. Make sure you check out that video next. But you could reduce this list if you weren't doing time tracking, and there may be items to add or subtract, but it's really that simple. That's what we're looking for. And where there are issues, we're going coaching people through it, coming alongside of them and helping them out. Hey, I noticed you're consistently tracking 4 hours of time. Like, we're all trying to track this time so that we have an overall picture. You tracking half the time that you're working each day is not helpful in us getting an accurate picture of where our time is actually going. So we've got to solve that. And do you need any help knowing where to put it? Where does my time go? How do I track it? Like, any systems for that. So there's going to be some coaching that goes into this as well. Okay, so that's the daily spot check. The weekly roundup is kind of a summary then of, hey, here's all this data. There will sometimes be a couple other things that we're looking at, but now we're taking trends and we're saying, boy, Paul over here just will not listen to me about tracking his time. I've got to go to Paul's manager, and we got to work together with the three of us to figure out, hey, how can I help Paul get there? And this is not just on my shoulders to magically make everybody build these habits. Like, they've got to lean in as well, and there's got to be some accountability for it. This goes back to the principles. Like, hey, we've got some clear rules of engagement, and part of the choice that you're giving people is, you're always making a choice. You're either making a choice to abide by our rules of engagement and continue to work here, or not abide by our rules of engagement, and by doing that, you are choosing to not work here any longer. So there's got to be some lines in the sand with all this stuff. Okay, the next part, monthly review and quarterly analysis. On a monthly basis, we're definitely going to want to look at, and for some of these things, this is size dependent. So some of this will happen in a weekly or bi-weekly. A lot of this is like, how much activity is happening? How many cycles do we have here? So if I'm working with a 100-person team, I care an awful lot about utilization on a week-by-week basis. And if I'm working with a 5 or 6-person team, tracking utilization on a week-by-week basis is just less impactful to the overall number. And there's just, everyone's wearing different hats. It's a little bit harder. We don't have the same, enough people across the same role to really have some meaningful data. The other way to think about this would be I want to go back and check our time estimates. How quickly do we pump out these projects? Well, in a couple 100-person firm where we're doing 50 projects a week, we're able to get that data, meaningful data, a lot sooner than in that 5-person team where we're doing one of these a quarter. So some of these will be, the timing may tweak a little bit, but for the most part, On a monthly basis, we are looking at things like client and project profitability. We're looking at kind of utilization and future forecasting. What are the team needs that we're going to have? Are there any engagements that we need to reshape, rescope, or renegotiate with a client? On a quarterly basis, we'll zoom out over a farther lens, and we're still looking at a lot of those same numbers, right? This is our monthly review, just bleeds into this. But now we're going a little bit deeper into, hey, what parts of the system can we optimize? So if this system is built well, I have ways to track and see, on average, when we do this type of deliverable or this type of project, how long is that taking? And now on a quarterly basis, it's worth looking back. And again, this will be a little bit variable depending on team size. How frequently, like how much data do we have to make meaningful decisions off of? But certainly on a quarterly basis, kind of at a minimum, we want to look back and see, hey, are there specific types of projects, deliverables, or tasks that we can optimize? And by optimize, I mean we'll reshape our time estimate. We ought to focus on process improvements here. We need to increase pricing for those, or we need to change the components of who's involved in delivering that work. So we may have a copywriter we absolutely love, but my goodness, they are slow at actually executing on the work, and the work's just mediocre, or someone who flies through it, but they're not that good at it. So we're mixing our quality and our efficiency metrics together here to figure out, hey, how can we go improve the processes that we have? So that is kind of a super quick overview of this fifth pillar of consistent accountability not being optional. Without this, you will struggle to fully adopt and get the most out of ClickUp. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments below, subscribe to the channel, and we'll see you in the next video.